Scandal right here on your classic metal show with I Am the Warrior. No, that's brand new Chastain.
You asshole.
Thank you. Well, it is Chastain from We Bleed Metal release, and that is I Am the Warrior. I was hoping Leather would sing a couple of bars of that, but she didn't want to play along.
Because I don't know. I don't remember the song. It sounds like, I am a warrior.
There you
Something
go.
Like that. That's all I get.
That's perfect. Well, I was entertaining Leather on the phone prior to going on the air here, Chris, and I was telling her how you were discussing the intricate or intimate details of Patti Smythe and John McEnroe, how he was rogering her with the tennis racket handle.
Well, I'm just curious. I mean, you got to think that if you're in one of those careers that you do weird shit.
Yeah, they need, they're so used to the ultimate excitement because they can do and have anything. They have to up the ante, right? I mean, for sure. Although she would kick his ass.
Yeah, but don't, and maybe I'm wrong, Leather, and you can put me in the right direction, but don't drummers try to find weird shit to do with sticks and singers with microphones or chords or some shit just to incorporate their livelihood into their bedroom?
No comment. No comment. I plead the fifth.
See, I'm right.
I do not recall.
Well,
I don't know. I've never. Yeah.
Well, Leather, you and I were corresponding, and we thought we'd be doing something in December, which that still can happen. But according to Chris, your publicist was hot and bothered about getting you on the show this week, and it's like, you know what?
Good for my publicist.
That door is always open. We don't need
I appreciate it.
We don't need you to be the middleman. So step out of the way.
Because I am a warrior, motherfucker.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you guys like the record or what?
Yep. I do. Yeah, as you're well aware, Leather, I'm a big fan of the band, and I like this one because, unlike the other ones, there's no breaks in this one. This is just punch you in the face from the second it starts until it's done, and there's no let-up, and it's fantastic.
I totally agree with you. I'm not usually excited about any frickin' thing that I do. I make it. I set it aside. This is still blasting in my car. I'm a narcissistic little bitch. It's still blasting in my car. But I can tell you why. In Surrender to No One, I think I had to work out some cobwebs vocally. I did. And Chastain and I kind of wrote Surrender to No One together. So that's more of my input. You know what? It's not Chastain. So he just started sending me all this, and I'm like, this is it. He is the writer of the Chastain sound. That is him. So... And I liked the songs. I liked them from the beginning. And, every once in a while it hits, cosmically, once in a while it hits. So I think this one did because I really, really like this record.
Sure. And it has a lot of the thing that I like, it will take you out of the mix for a minute, and I'll just point at David, is some of these riffs are familiar-ish. They're not old riffs. But they're familiar to his sound. But the way that they're put together, I'll point to All Hail the King as an example. Yes. That song sounds like it could have fit on any Chastain record, except it's so much more heavier than anything on any other Chastain record. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. And he loves that song. And he wrote this song, and he sent it to me, and he was like, he said, this song is too appealing and too good. He kept saying, he was talking to all his friends, like in all the big bands that we know, like, does this sound familiar to you? He's like, is this like an old Maiden song or like a Saxon song? I mean, yeah, it fell together and hit so well, but I know everybody likes that song. To me, it's a little commercially bebop, but no, I like it. I like it all, but he really likes that song. And to hear Chastain say that he likes something that he created is kind of cool. But then again, whenever I put my voice on it, he pretty much likes anything. You know what I'm saying, to a certain degree?
Right.
Well, you had said at one point that you're thinking that this may be the last Chastain record. Is that still the thought process?
It's my thought process from the conversations that I have with Chastain and Leviathan. I hope that I'm incorrect. I have finally, and David, if you're listening, I love you, I have finally accepted that Chastain is a recording project. That's all it's going to be. So I got that. I would hope not, because like I said, there's a lot of other songs that I would like to do, but I'm not really sure, because I was not sure that this one was going to happen. And of course, it depends on, what you people all think of it, what all of my friends think about it. So buy it, push it, love it, help Leather do another. Please, please.
Well, you're going to go do some solo shows, and I guess the closest you're going to get to, being in Chastain is playing some of these songs live as a solo artist, right?
Oh, of course. And I mean, I am blessed that anybody even wants to, deal with that. But yeah, that's what I do. I just got a show in May at the Metal Apocalypse thing that happens in Chicago, Odin's show, and I'm grabbing David Harbour. I'm grabbing Jim Dofka. I'm not sure about a drummer yet. I was talking to Michael Harris's brother. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I am lucky enough that people will accept me doing that role.
Well, feel free to reach out.
Feel
free to reach out and grab me wherever you want when you're in town, will you?
I absolutely. With or without a tennis racket.
Excellent.
Because I don't play, so it'd be frightening.
Sure. Well, here you are booking stuff already into the new year. Spring of all things.
Yes.
And so what do you have on the slate that you can tell us about? We're promoting this in a live, atmosphere.
In a live
form,
yeah. Right now, that's the only thing I have. It's the Ragnarok Metal Apocalypse show that Odin has every May in Chicago. It's an incredible show. I've emceed it before. I think the headliners are, it was Nuclear Assault last year. I think Tigers of whatever they're called. I'm
Pantang.
sorry. No disrespect. It's almost like I can't say the name. So I have that booked. That's the one thing I have booked for sure. I'm talking to my promoter about Brazil again. I have no dates, but it will happen in 2016. So I guess the thing for me has always been, I got to tell, I am freaking lazy by nature. And back in the Chastain days, everything was handed to me. Here's your ticket, fly here, write this song, do this. So now, as an adult, it's like, fuck, I have to do all this myself? I have no team. What happened to my fake stardom? So I didn't really realize that I would have a band in the States. So again, as I said, I've reconnected with David Harbour, and he's like ready to go. And what is that? I didn't do any of that.
No, that was me. Sorry.
Whoa.
Okay. So, so it looks like now, I've always had a band in Brazil. I have a band over in Sweden, but none of that stuff seems to be coming together because, without Chastain, it's tough. People go, yeah, Leather's good, but, the axe guy isn't there, so whatever. But I think I'll probably be doing more in the States, which I'll do it. I'll take it.
Do you think that if you're out there playing, let's just say that you get it together and you play, say, 20 shows, okay?
Yep.
If you get out there and do 20 shows and you got another guitar player mimicking David, is that going to lure him out of the basement to at least come out and play an Atlanta show?
Absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah. He says to me, go play the shows. I give you my love. I am not, I have no contractual bullshit. I can play anything at any time. He said, Godspeed, babe. No, he's like, go. No. He played the CJSS show recently, which he said was wonderful. Yeah, he doesn't, no. The spark has dwindled, I think, with him. He'd rather just stay home and run the business. So no. I thought all of that. I figured, yeah, he's going to play the show. No. I think it probably actually did the opposite for him. It made him realize why he doesn't enjoy it anymore, and that's okay. Well, I get it.
Well, Leather, Chris brought up a point that we were discussing prior to you coming on the show. Can you go out and be Chastain without Dave in the band?
Yes, but of course I wouldn't call it that. I'm using my own name. But
I understand. Yeah. I get that.
Of course I can. Yeah. But, I think that will only lead to more, frustration. How long can you do it? I have a new record. I'm going to have to start writing with somebody. But absolutely, that's how people know me. That's what people want to see. And I was really worried about when I went to Brazil, I don't know, last year, 100 years ago. I was really worried about how the people were going to accept my friend Damon that was on guitar. And I got to tell you, honestly, as soon as I opened my mouth and they heard that melody and the vocal, everybody was fine. So people are okay. I'm sure they would rather see us together, but they're okay with just me. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do for sure. But, of course, they want to hear me do, Voice of the Cult, Angel of Mercy. And, I mean, that's my history. Of course, that's what I do. So, of course, I'll do it.
Sure. Will you do any of the stuff that you did outside of Chastain? Will you do any of that, what was that, the Sledge Leather record?
Sledge Leather, and it's interesting that you said that because I was, oh, my God, the Dio guys, yeah. I would play clubs down there. And, of course, we did that record ourselves. We didn't have any, nobody gives a fuck about me. You know what I'm saying? We did that all ourselves. And people would come to life when what? When we did Voice of the Cult, For Those Who Daren't. No, that's what my history is. So that's what people want to hear.
Sure. Now, Leather, I got to tell you, I hung out with your friend Veronica a couple weeks ago, and she told me that she does not have the record yet. In fact, she had me playing her the record. So,
and Veronica, who's probably listening, I don't have the fucking record yet. Yeah, I know. I love her. I have to get her a copy. Leviathan and now Pure Steel in Europe, they're all like, it's all hush-hush, and it's like this big thing, and I'm going, we aren't Sabbath, dude. Let it go. But no, she probably doesn't have it. In Chastain, I like to talk and have a big mouth, and I get excited when something happens. So I send everything out. So I'm like on the do not send list. So I actually just got my first copy of it, and I was only allotted 4.
Really?
Yeah. I know. I'm going to put that in the mail to her tonight because she goes, I keep hearing about this damn record. I don't have one. And I'm like, yeah, but I never got Now or Never either. I had to hear it online. So,
Yeah, actually, I think I sent that to you.
Now or Never?
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, I got it over. Yeah, I got it online. But, and she knows, Veronica, you get so busy and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to win lotto. I'm just going to grab V. We're going to hire a band, whether it's her band or my band, and we're just going to tour the world and just push ourselves down everybody's throats. That's what we're going to do.
Hey, she's got that band in Janesville, Wisconsin waiting for you.
Right.
Oh, yeah, and they sound incredible from what I've seen online. Yeah, we're tossing that stuff back and forth. So we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, her record is getting great response, and from what I've heard, mine's going to do okay too. So, it's a different world, and I thought Sabbath was going to call, which I told you guys last year, but they're not calling. So, Chastain would go on the road if Sabbath called. Believe me, he's always said this to me. When Sabbath calls, I'm packed, I'm ready to go. So, but Tony's not returning my calls.
Yeah, it's funny what certain people can make time to do. Other things not so much priority.
I understand. Yeah. And it's okay. I'm just blessed. I'm not, oh my God, I'm so blessed that I can make music and that I can still even do it and that people want to hear it. I mean, damn, I'm a lucky kid.
So where did you actually do your parts at? Did you go to Chastain's place, or did you guys do it all internet, or how did it all work?
I went to Georgia. And then we decided to tag another one. We Bleed Metal, I actually did here at my friend Michael Pelvetier's studio. I just went up one day and ripped out We Bleed Metal. Yeah, but I always go to him because I am, an artist that I need a producer. I'm not one of those, talented people that can just go rip stuff off. I need input. I always need help. So for me to do We Bleed Metal was kind of a big deal. But I like producers, and I love working with David. I need, him to cast his shadow over me. I mean, although he pisses me off half the time, but
nice.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Sure. What would it take? And this is just a hypothetical, but what would it take to get you out there? Not so much to perform, but to teach people. And I'll use Veronica as just one example, but there's 1,000 other musicians that are the same way, and I can't figure it out. You clearly, if nothing else, you have immense confidence in what you're doing. You totally buy into Leather. You believe it, you live it, you are it. People like Veronica, you really got to kind of push. I'm not picking at Veronica because I know 100 other musicians that are the same way.
Yeah, I know she does really have a shy thing to her, doesn't she?
Yeah, but there's a lot of musicians that are Even guys that have sold 20, 30, 50 million records, they come off and they're like, oh, I'm not a very good singer. This isn't very good, and I don't know why people like this. Whatever. It's like,
well, I'm the same way, but I know what you're saying. I don't know. I mean, it's not that I think I'm good, but it's something that I try to tell Veronica sometimes. It's just something that it's the only thing that I can kind of do, and when I do it, I know that that's what I was supposed to do. But I know what you're saying. I don't know. I just know that when I open my mouth to sing is what I'm talking about, people. That it's that's what I do. But I think everybody's shy and everybody. I mean, that's all normal. I think that's why I'm so excited about this record, because I think people are going to pick it up that I actually like this record. But I'm oh my God, get me in a studio, I'm like a little sniveling baby. I'll do okay for an hour and then, no, I think we're all damaged, aren't we? I think any artist, and any time you put yourself out there, but I really have an intense enjoyment about throwing myself out there. I don't care if people dog me. Talk about me. I don't care. They call me man baby. There's people that say that I have this horrendous voice. Cool. I don't care. Isn't that cool? Yeah, they used to call me man baby. I think that's like such a killer term. What does that mean, man baby?
I don't know. Chris and I have had to thwart the slings and arrows for the last 20 years or so. So
it's what we do. Yeah.
We don't care.
If you put yourself out there, oh my God, you're asking for it. And you know what? Bring it on. I love it. If I know you don't like my voice, guess who's going to get serenaded that night? I mean, I love it. But yeah. And again, I'm repeating myself, but it's the only thing that I sincerely know in my heart that I can kind of do. So I do it and I enjoy it. I don't take it for granted, because I know tons of singers that are much better than me, that can write songs all day long, and they don't have the opportunities I do. So I grab them and I run, man.
Sure.
I run like a motherfucker. Yeah.
Well, Leather, I got to tell you, it's kind of a sad thing for Chris and I personally. Chris and I have been friends with a band out of Columbus, Ohio for the last, 12, 15 years, Chris.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever heard of them or not, but the bassist and vocalist of this band, his name is Michael Hannon. He was with a band in the late 80s, early 90s called Salty Dog.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he was from Ohio originally, and he moved back to Ohio when Salty Dog just didn't, stay the course per se.
I do know, yes. Uh-huh.
And he started a band called American Dog as a three-piece, and they put out at least 10 records, right, Chris?
Yeah, like 8 to 10 somewhere in there. Yeah,
and they pretty much self-financed and out there with road dogs and just opening and touring Europe and playing live wherever they could, and just working it for all these years. And finally they opened up for Tesla last fall, which I went to go hang out with them when they were here in Chicago. But apparently they came home broke, and he just gave it up. They were just said, all right, I've had enough of this. This is bullshit. We're not getting anywhere. And they were really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter. And that's a lot to do with why Chastain is not on the road. There's no money in it. You have to chase people down for your money. And that had a lot to do with why I stopped. When I stopped touring it, whenever, I couldn't afford to pay rent. I couldn't afford a car. Yeah, it was great being out there, but it's a really tough business. You don't make a lot of money unless you're Metallica. And I ran into Hetfield recently also, and he said to me, I don't know if it was actually probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know if it's changed now, but even as large as they are, and Sabbath does this too, they have to buy out most of the tour. They book it and they have to buy the stadiums out, and then they get their money back as the people come in. Wow. And he goes, I can afford to do that. You can't. So, it's really tough. And yeah, most of the things that you see me do, I'm doing for a flight and a hot meal. That's the way it goes,
Right.
Especially in this country. When you leave this country, it's a little different. But it's what your priorities are. And my priority at this point in my life is to get my fucking old ass out on stage. I want to play some more shows before I hit the dirt. That's what I love to do. But yeah, I mean, you can't make it. I mean, you can't.
Well, I guess the second part of my question here, where I was leading with this, you know, I know that you have this desire to go out and play some shows and promote this new record and play, you know, under your own name and, you know, whatnot. Obviously, you know, you have a day job. So how?
Of course.
Yeah,
I do.
of course you do. And so you're going to have to try to schedule these live shows and coordinate your schedule to accommodate your day job or whatever it is that you do.
I am a very blessed person. No, I'm very blessed. I can basically kind of come and go as I feel.
Nice.
You know, I'm into animal medicine. I have a boss who's like my best friend, who's much older than all of us, but a total metalhead. So I have support from ground zero. I can get up and go. I need like 2 months, I can get up and go. So I know it's a lot different with other people, but oh God, yeah, that day job. I mean, thank God I have my day job. It enables me to do what I do.
All right, well, good. I mean, you know, I like to see that people, you know, are taken care of, but they go out there and still, you know, work their craft, which obviously being a singer for you and, you know, playing shows.
And you know what? You're making me think. When I was really young and I got one of my first, which I thought was a huge royalty check from Mike Varney from Shrapnel. God, we're talking, I know the joke's getting old, but I say, 1927? I think it was for it was just around $2,000, and we're talking about like in the mid-'80s, and I was like, oh, motherfucker. And I can remember he looked at me and he said, you should be making so much more. You're such a talent, and you know, you should be putting another Mercedes in my garage, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at him, and he still reminds me of this. I said, oh, I don't care about the money. I just want to be famous. So now every year I get an email from him when I get these little piddly checks. Remember, you just wanted to be famous, and you are.
Wow.
So I never thought about it in those terms, which is what I've learned a lot from Veronica that way. Veronica is a business machine and has conversations with me all the time about taking advantage of my name and this and that, and I learned a lot of that being with Doro again. But I don't think in those terms. I'm really bad. I just want to play. Please just give me a sure wireless on the stage. That's how I think of it.
Right. Well, Chris
which is
and
not
I
always correct.
Yeah, well, Chris and I covered a story last week on the show about the former Wasp guitarist Chris Holmes.
Yes.
And he basically did this pathetic interview where he just whined and bitched and moaned and cried the blues that somehow during his heyday with Wasp, he got ripped off because he wasn't written into the contract as a member of the band. He was a quote-unquote session player. So he didn't qualify for a lot of the royalties and the, you know, all this and that. Now, and now that he's in his, you know, mid-50s and he's got no money, now he's looking into the contracts to see what they said.
Yeah.
And he's shocked.
Yeah,
and he's shocked to see this. But see, getting back to the point here, when you were making money, you know, in your mind, $2,000 was making money. You were extremely you were extremely happy with that. You were just like, wow, I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And in reality, now that you look back, you go, that isn't the case at all. You know, that's just
Not at all.
Yeah. But at the time, you were happy as a pig in shit, I'm sure.
Totally, and that's so funny you bring that up about his contract because, oh my God, there's so many like people that I meet in L.A. that I thought were these big rock stars. Same difference. They were all session players and they never read the contract, but go ahead.
Right. Well,
I want to get in on that because this was my question last week. How does that happen? I mean, you were in that scene in the 80s. Did you read your contract or did you just to go with, well, they said it's good, so it must be?
Shut up. No. The one, when I was negotiating with CBS, we actually did hire a lawyer. That never came to be. But I can remember, and I, love you, Bernie, but, the contracts were pretty bad back then. And I don't know if Chastain was so business savvy back then like he is now. I send everything through David. There's many things that I get asked to do that I filter through Chester, as I call him. And I would have been on the bus yesterday, and he's like, what are you doing? So I really did. But then again, I did not have a large opportunity, so I'm the wrong person to talk to. But I don't, Chastain, Leviathan gave me my new contracts before Surrender to No One. I just went to sign them, and he's like, well, don't you want to know what it is? I'm like, not really. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you really need financial advice. Anyone who's out there, God, get a lawyer. Yeah.
All right. Well, fair enough. Well, looking back
like I said, to me, I just wanted to play. Just freaking take your shoes off and go play and worry about the money later. But
see, that's what I said to Chris. Chris, our partner, Chris, not Chris Holmes. Mm-hmm. That's what I said to him, because he was just like, at what point do you go, hey, aren't I supposed to be getting a whole lot more than this? And my comment was, well, he was just probably happy to be playing, and he was probably getting performance fees. And you hear about that all the time. I mean, you hear about all those big pop bands that got ripped off, and they did have lawyers. So I don't know. I can remember reading an interview with Madonna one time, and she said, you're young and you get into the music business, from the pop aspect, and you just want to make millions of dollars. You want to make all this money, and then you make all this money, and then you have to find the right person to make sure that people don't take all your money. So, God, to me, it just sounds like a hassle. But again, I have never had these huge financial opportunities to where it even mattered. And now that I'm older and I am getting some financial, things that are happening, now I do have people covering my ass, yeah. Because like I said, I would just say, let me get a new pair of sneakers. I'll be ready in 4 hours,
Well, but it's funny, too, Leather, because we were talking, I got into a little bit of a Facebook spat, I guess, with Kip Winger a couple weeks ago. Because he was online bitching and moaning about Spotify and Pandora and whatever, and that he wasn't getting paid. Right. And I actually said to him, I was like, well, dude, you kind of signed the contract that let them have your music for what they're paying you. They're not doing anything illegal, and of course he didn't like hearing that, but but
that's interesting you say that, because Chester recently, the past couple of years, I said, how come we're on Spotify? And he goes, never in a million years. So yeah, you have to be. But it's all a dirty business. I mean, the whole world is fucking dirty.
Right. I agree.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, but yeah, of course I have a day job. I am blessed. I have a great day job. I'm really taken care of. So.
Well, they can't go wrong with that.
Woo-hoo!
well, Leather, talk a little bit about what this, other than what is not booked yet as far as touring. What has been going on since We Bleed Metal hit the circuit? Are you getting a lot of interviews, or is there?
Yeah. Like I said, this is really. I got the feeling with Surrender to No One that people were just being nice, and I really got it. Although people were really honest. People were kind of like, it's incredible feedback from all over the world, which again to me is really sad that, Chastain won't go out on the road. But yeah, extremely good feedback, and people are having the balls to say so much better than Surrender to No One. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. But also, I am really blessed, again, Veronica introduced me to you guys, but I've kind of been around for a while, so I'm really blessed that I have people that will take the time to talk to me. I can call up people all over the world, and they'll, talk to me and play the record. So, incredible response. Have you seen the video, the lyrical video?
Yeah, I got your little email blurb the other day, so I watched it.
Oh, did I send it to you? Yeah.
Yes.
And again, Leviathan's not going to, splurge for any big videos, so I'll probably just do it. And again, you're talking about business. I'm thinking to myself at night, I'm going to put out all this money for a video because I want a video and I want to be portrayed properly. And it's not going to make me any money. I'm going to go broke, But again, it's a line. It's important to me. I just want my craft out there. And I always had a thing when I was younger that, I was always like, oh, woe is me. Nobody knows who I am. Why is it always Doro and Lita and blah, blah, blah. I'm still that 20-year-old kid going, hey, what about me, man? What about me? So, I'm going to push it out there. But, yeah, extremely good response. Extremely good.
Well, out of all the people that you know and can talk to freely and openly, who's your favorite?
I think it's you two.
Oh, there you go.
It's my friends at the Classic Metal Show.
That's the right
Will you guys
answer.
say a comedy show with hand jobs or something? What is that? And I usually send out this stuff to my mother, my 86-year-old mother, who is such a supporter of me. And she goes, honey, so what am I listening to tonight? And I said, you're listening to the Classic Metal Show. She said, well, I saw something about hand jobs and fuck you PayPal. Is that the one that you're on?
Fuck you PayPal.
Yeah. I said, no, Mama, we won't be listening to that one. But so you guys like the record and you're playing it for me?
Of course.
Yeah.
Good. I appreciate it.
Between yourself and Veronica, we've told you before, and we mean it, that either one of you at any time can be third mic.
Yeah, that door's always open.
I mean, I really appreciate it. Oh my God, fucking Veronica! You've known Veronica for a very long time, right?
Yeah, about 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
for a while
really?
now.
Yeah.
And something else I find very interesting. Well, not that it's interesting, but that this time around. Everyone's asking me about Veronica. They're like, so, people from all these foreign lands are like, so what's this relationship with you and Veronica Freeman? So I'm, because this solo record for her has been huge. And again, I'm repeating myself, but when she played this for me in the studio 100 years ago when I started working on Kiss My Lips, I just looked at her and I said, you are so brave, Veronica. This you're going to sink or swim on this one, and people love it. But so I'm really hoping, as I'm sure Veronica's listening, that we can really do something because, we're just like, I don't know, is dichotomy the proper word? We're so opposite. She's this huge, voluptuous Amazon of a woman with this voice, and then I come out the little flat-chested tomboy in her steel toes and rip, too. So I think it's really funny. I tell her we should do like an ABBA, right?
Why don't you just lie when people ask? Just say, yeah, Kiss My Lips. That's our lesbian theme. Just lie. You know how much press attention you would get if you just lied?
I don't lie that well, but I am in love with her, so it really wouldn't be that much of a lie. But her husband would kill me.
Yeah, but just tell her that you're not to not respond to it. If one of you said that one time in an interview, it would be everywhere.
Do you think it would be?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Look,
then I'm saying it. Oh yeah, Kiss My Lips. Veronica wrote that for me after she met me, and that's her like lesbian theme song.
Yeah, there was a little bit of wine. There was a dark night.
Oh, there was shitloads of wine and gambling and electronic cigarettes and.
Right.
Things got out of little control, and
And we just said, let's just go with it, babe.
Let me just tell you how it works, Leather. Veronica, when she was because I built her website. I don't know if you know that or not, but I did her website for her. Uh-huh. And we were talking about, things that she could sell. And I just threw it out there to her. I said, throw some bras online, sign them, and kiss them. And she fought. Did she not fight me?
Yeah, she was just like, she was just like, oh, that's ridiculous. Nobody would ever buy that.
And everybody's buying them, right?
And that's her biggest seller.
She sold like 100 of them.
Because I got to tell you, I check all her stuff out all the time, and I just was shaking my head going, oh, my God, what is she doing? But, yeah. And then I go on her site, and I see that everybody's buying them, and they're posing with them.
That's it. You got to sell what'll sell.
Exactly. You have to give the people what they want. If they want your underwear, goddammit, give it to them.
Right. And she did a very risque poster for her.
I have seen that. I mean, Veronica, what are you doing? And again, my boss, he doesn't know her, but he knows it. And I was like, oh my God, she doesn't have any clothes on. Those are just her hands over those boobs.
And that again came from the show.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And that's probably selling like crazy too. Yeah.
Sold a shit ton of those as well. That's okay because I'm also known for girls keep your clothes on, blah blah. You know what? If it's you, I'm okay with it. But when when we stopped working together in the 90s, I had all these meetings in LA, big time. They were trying to woo me. Of course the blow was over by then, but the limos and the dinners, and they all wanted me to be more sexual. I am not sexual. If Leather all of a sudden showed up in a fucking bustier with red lipstick on, it would be a joke. But I think if that's the core of if that's really what you are,
Go for it. I even said to her the other day, I sent her an email, Veronica, I love you, that said something like, Jesus Christ, I can't get past that cleavage. I said, what the fuck? All the time I look at you. But then I put in parentheses, and I said, which, by the way, is magnificent. But, yeah, I love her dearly. And we met each other for a reason, so I will definitely be, like I said, we're talking about a lot of stuff. I think, we'll be out there. Because I think we have different fans, but we can bring them together. I really think we have different fans, Veronica and I, but they can certainly meet in the middle.
But the only reason that you have different fans is because it's different time frames that you have had your
exactly what
success.
It is. That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
because musically, there's no reason that you couldn't see Veronica do 10 Benedictum songs, and then you come out and do 10 Chastain songs and think that would not feel awkward at all to hear.
Not at all. Not at all. And again, I'm repeating myself again, but a couple of years, I even forgot who told me about her, but remember I said, someone told me there's this girl, Veronica Freeman, she sounds just like you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I listened to her. I said, she's good, but she doesn't sound anything like me. I don't sound like that. And then we were in the studio together, and we couldn't tell whose line was whose line.
Nice.
I'm like, no, wait, no, that's me. But, everybody says that. I think everybody lumps you together because you're a girl. Because when Surrender to No One came out, everyone was like, oh, my God, you and Kate French sound so much. I don't sound anything like that girl. No. Really? Nothing. I know you guys are going to keep your mouth shut about Kate French. But.
No, we got in trouble.
We're not supposed to mention that name.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk about that anymore. We got in trouble.
Well, I'm just trying to give her some press. That's what I'm doing.
Locomotive was not happy with us.
Oh, so you heard it from the big boys.
Oh, yes. Directly.
Oh. I thought it was more
we have a history of dealing with publicists off the air with demands for apologies and blah, blah, blah.
And, and again, I'm sorry that we aren't running for office here. We aren't saving the world. I don't know. I just have, if I hang up now and you're online on the air saying, oh, my God, she's such a fucking bitch, who cares? We're in America. You're allowed to have an opinion. I mean, I don't. And again, you're talking about me. Tell everyone I'm a bitch. That's cool. Tell everyone. I don't know. Should we start the lesbian rumor, guys?
I like that idea. I'm telling you, Leather. I swear, if you floated it out there, it would it would be blabbermouth material with 400 comments.
I would kill them if they were in. That's funny. But again, we would have to check with her husband because I don't think he'd be very happy about that. But he does understand business, so he might be okay with it.
If all of a sudden she sold 400 CDs that week, he wouldn't care.
Exactly. If we have to do some little cutesy little pictures, oh my God, I love you, Veronica. We'll get your permission before we do any of this, girl. I promise.
This is now we're talking.
Yeah. Yeah, and
what tracks are you playing? Did you just get the record, or
no? We've had it for 2 weeks, and as I told you in the email, we played basically the title track, and we
bleed metal,
right?
Yeah.
And we play All Hail the King, and obviously we were playing Bang Bang, I Am the Warrior.
I should probably try to send her a copy of that, see if I could find her. Unlike when Barracuda came out, I don't remember how I did it because again, it was so long ago. But I got Barracuda to Ann's people. She was not happy with that version at all.
What? Why was she not happy?
I really didn't go into it. My people heard from her people, which is basically probably a phone call. Yeah, that she wasn't dogging it or anything, but she didn't. It was kind of like one of those no comment things. Nice way of saying, damn, you suck. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But that's okay.
That's a good one. We like hearing stories like that.
I know. Isn't that great? So do I. And see, yeah, we're talking about her. Who cares? But
sure.
As always, so I probably will just call you back on the 5th anyway because you said I can call whenever I want.
That's right.
Fine. That's fine.
Are you guys in costume tonight, or?
Yeah, I'm dressed like me.
Well, you guys probably don't know, but I'm a vet tech. I'm a vet nurse. I'm an animal nurse. So I live in scrubs. So I live in this really affluent community. It's really hysterical that I live here, but it's Halloween, so there's parades everywhere, and everyone's with their kids and everything, and they're all, they're like going, Leather, where's your costume? This is it. I got blood on this side, urine on this side, sperm on this side. I'm like, this is my costume. Well, do you guys have no children?
I have 3.
I don't have any.
Mine are all grown.
Well,
they're all grown.
Oh, so they're grown up, so we aren't taking them trick-or-treating tonight.
No, please.
How old are they?
25 and 22.
Holy shit, boys, girls?
2 boys, 1 girl.
Are they into music at all, or?
Yeah, but none of this. None of them. I mean, none of them like my music. My daughter likes like Linkin Park and Seven Dust and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
My one son, he'd be happy if he never had to listen to anything but Skynyrd. And then the other one listens to like Survivor and Journey.
Well, that's, I mean, I grew up on that.
I did too.
Heard these. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these interviews are saying, your top 5 records, and I have to hone it in, because what do I think of? I think of Supertramp, Crime of the Century, Houses of the Holy, of course, Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. Those are the albums that floored me. But it's funny, we just did those. Chastain and I did a list, I think, for Hard Rock or some really intense magazine over in France. Right. Chastain emails me back and goes, you might want to hone that in a little bit. I don't know if people want to know that Leather listened to Stevie Nicks in the 80s.
Ain't nothing wrong with some Stevie Nicks. Hey, you can't say anything. Neely just went and saw Air Supply about 2 months ago. 3 months ago.
Really?
I did.
Really?
I
Were
did.
they incredible or what?
Well, I got to hang out with them, actually.
Did they still sound good?
Well, they rocked their songs up. They weren't all really syrupy. They actually rocked them up a little bit. So
did they?
Yeah. So their bassist, Johnny Lightfoot, who lives in Salt Lake City, he's a fan of the show. And he called into the show, and we were talking. I'm not a fan at all of Air Supply, and Chris is a huge fan, and he's just well, I'm going to make you a fan. You're coming out to the show. We're coming into Chicago. You're going to come to the show. You're going to be my guest, and I'm going to introduce you to them and all this other stuff. So I did. I went, and it was a lot of middle-aged housewives.
But the place was probably packed.
It
right?
was. There was literally, I think the count was like close to 15,000 people were there.
And they were all singing.
Yeah, it was a free concert. It was.
But I mean, God bless. See, talking about money, he doesn't have to play another show for 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So I met the Russells.
My father used to say to me, God bless him, because he passed away definitely before Surrender to No One, and I think, before Imagine Me Alive, but he, my name's Catherine. He used to say to me, Kathy, you aren't done with music all through the 90s. I'm like, Dad, I think I am. I want to be in a metal band. He goes, you need to grab a guitar and sing some country music. I'm like, I don't think so, Pop, but hey, maybe he was right. Now that I see, Fall Out Boy is going to be on the Country Music Awards, and all these bands are kind of going that way,
Well, you could follow in the footsteps of Bret Michaels.
Yeah.
I would like to follow in anything of Bret Michaels.
He's a cunt. Fuck.
It's interesting. Back in the day, I was always at Poison shows, and I was always hanging out with them. Never met Bret. I would be like, please, can I just touch him? Can I taste the sweat? Never met him. Is he not pleasant?
He is
I'd like to touch him with a bullet.
Chris summed it all up there. Say it again, Chris.
He's a cunt?
Did I think that he's a cunt?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
He did.
He is a cunt.
Really?
I've had nothing but problems with that asshole.
He and John Bon Jovi are cut from the same cloth.
Oh, yeah. See, I knew John back in the day, and he was just so adorable, and he never wore shoes, and he was like a little cheerleader type guy, but but that bothers me.
We tell the Bret Michaels story all the time. We were hanging out with Dokken at a show that it was Dokken and Sebastian Bach and Poison.
Yeah.
And somehow I was off the bus and I was backstage when they were leading Bret to the stage. And the stage manager came over to me and said, you need to turn around And I was like, what?
Get out of here.
He's like, face the wall. You can't look at Bret when he walks by.
Well, and this is the truth. Here's the truth, Leather. Dokken was on the tour with Poison back in 2007, and they were here at Tinley Park. I don't know if you know where Tinley Park is.
I don't know.
It's an amphitheater. And,
okay.
And so we're backstage, and you know how the backstage areas are. They got the dressing rooms down a hallway. Well, Bret was going to walk to the stage, so all of the stage hands or security people, they came along the hallway, closed the doors to all the dressing rooms, and stood in front of the door so nobody could open the door or leave or come out at the same time
to see His Highness.
That's so weird to me. I hear about a lot of people. I wonder why you don't want anyone looking at you. Will you melt?
No, because
that's bizarre to me.
No, but see, Vince Neil is the same way.
Yep,
he was playing in there's a place in Cleveland called the Nautica Stage.
Yeah,
and I had full access laminates for the show, and there was like probably maybe two dozen people hanging around backstage. Everyone had to leave the backstage area so King Vince could walk from the dressing trailer to the stage.
Wow.
Yep.
See, if I was big and famous, I would be one of those people. I would be a bitch. Just for the fun of it, I think, because I could. But I always wonder what that probably comes from a sense of real insecurity is what I'm saying.
Well,
you know, I can understand that being because when I went to Brazil, it was kind of like this whole world of, I had, people walking me everywhere and bodyguards and blah, blah, blah. And I certainly got it about the not talking, that I didn't want to talk that much because, I don't really do shows anymore. And to do 4 or 5 nights in a row, I had to really hone it down. I get that, but damn, look, wink, throw stuff. I mean, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
But the worst, I'll tell you another Bret story that Neely was there for to see. Back when I was on WMMS here in Cleveland, we did a meet and greet for Poison, and set it up all through regular channels, like through the management and whatnot, as you have to do. And we got to the show. Poison played their mediocre set as they always do. Show ends. There's like different fan clubs of people. There's 15 people that are in the CC fan club. There's 20 that are in the Bret Michaels fan club. And then we had our winners, our 10 winners or whatever that were there because they won tickets on the radio, tickets and a chance to meet Bret Michaels. So, and I'm going to preface this by saying I was plenty drunk, as Neely will tell you. I had been drinking quite a bit, but Bret came out, sat at a table, signed about 3 autographs from his own fan club, none from the meet and greet, and got up like he was going to walk away, like he was done.
Wow.
And I started screaming. I was a little bit liquored up, and I was like, sit your fucking ass down and sign these fucking people's shit.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't let it up, and he just turned around and then he sicked his bodyguard on me, and I just was like, you may fucking beat my ass, but I swear to God you're going to remember it,
Yeah.
and I was screaming, and the police came over and everything else, but then Bret just was like, oh no, it's fine, I'll sit down, and he sat down, didn't speak a word to anybody, would not take a single picture, and just pouted and signed their shit.
That's bullshit.
He's
and
a total dick.
Because that's why you're there, because of those people. That's what I get,
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, they didn't pay for their tickets, but we paid for it by playing their shitty music for 6 weeks on the air.
You're right. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's bullshit. Wow, you're really blowing my whole fantasy about Bret Michaels.
Oh,
Thanks,
boy.
you guys. Fuck. What am I going to do tonight? How am I going to get to sleep? But I love you guys. I got to go.
All right.
I always love talking to you. Thank you so much for playing the record. Yeah.
All right, Leather. Well,
and I'll hook up with you guys so we can meet each other in Chicago for the Rag and Art Metal. I think it's May 6th and 7th. I'm not sure when I'm going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we can actually, I don't know if I'm going to be able to speak with you or sign any autographs. Be concerned. It depends on how I feel that evening. But seriously, I love you guys so much. I really appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
All right. Well, why don't you pick a song from the new record and leave us?
You already played Bang Bang, I'm a Warrior. Let's do one of my favorites, which is Against All the Gods, Against All the Odds, Against All the Gods. I think it's track number 3.
Okay, do your best, Phil Collins.
Thank you so much, you guys.
All right, Leather, we'll talk to you in about a month.
Yep. Ciao, baby.
All right, see ya.